Hi, Christine here. Sorry about the bad lighting. It's way early morning and I just got off a 12-hour shift and waiting for the car to warm up. Anyway, I decided to do another video about uh, ancestors. And I'm kind of addressing New Age, some witches out there, some Wiccans out there, but a lot of New Age thought with this, especially stuff that kind of started around the 70s and 80s, really with one New Age channeler channels a spirit called Cryon, with a K, R, something. Well, what got me to deciding to do this video was I had run into a kitchen witch and on YouTube doing a video about making whey cabbage, kefir whey cabbage, or sauerkraut, pardon me. And fun lady, absolutely a blast, and good recipes, good down home, you'd want to meet her and talk to her for hours. Don't care what religion or anything. But during her video, she was talking about the history, how fermenting food actually will help with digestion and stuff like that, which yes, it will. Things like sauerkraut, tofu, miso, some other things like that, they do help with digestion. They are very healthy for you. But she made a comment that just kind of made me go, eh. She said that at some point, whether it was alien spirits or aliens had taught human beings how to preserve food. Now, we do have archaeological evidence, not just in the Native Americas, but in Egypt, jars of honey that had been, kept, grains that they were still able to plant after 3,000 years and have a plant grow, stuff like that. So there's been methods of food preservation for a long time. Beer, fermenting of beer has been around for an exceedingly long time. Things like sour milk, which is the kind of the basis for kefir and for some of the other ancient drinks, has been around for a long time. Because the human species has been around for an extremely long time. Just in our modern form, as I've said before, I think it's 100,000 years. I get so tired by the time I do these things, I always forget the numbers. But hominids themselves have been around 1 million. And one thing we seem to forget is that we are an ingenious species. We tend to come up with things. We don't need alien help. Well, it's entirely possible, that we won the evolutionary war over Neanderthal and some others because we, maybe there was some manipulation, maybe time travelers came back in time and messed with DNA. Who knows? Really, if you look at things with kind of a science fiction lean, you never know, because we are capable of a lot of things in the future too. But to say it has to be aliens, to say that these ancient structures, for as long as we've been around, to say that these ancient structures had to be built by aliens, that our knowledge came from aliens. Uh, yeah, we have legends of gods giving us knowledge, but those were campfire tales, those were oral traditions, probably been around. Some of them may have started 20,000 years before the first civilization we have on record, Sumeria, was in existence. We don't know. We don't know how our language developed or anything like that. But these tales have been around for a long time, and maybe there was a civilization before that, and the Tower of Babel is actually about that civilization falling, became an oral story, or somebody saw a village fall and thought that that was the whole of the world, and they started telling, and the story grew and grew and grew. I mean, there's possibilities. But to say that we couldn't have accomplished these things on our own is, I don't want to be mean, but it's narrow-minded of us. It's egotistical of us. We're being very modern-centric on that point. If you take a look at a raven that can make a tool, a descendant of a dinosaur can make a tool and use it. If that animal is capable of that manipulation of their environment, why are we only capable of it in the last 2,000 years or 3,000 years or whatever, when we've been around far much longer? How come we're not giving our ancestors credit? You think about it. Well, yeah, there's legends that gods gave us agriculture, gods gave us fire, stuff like that. Why wasn't the scientific process in effect back in ancient times? Where somebody saw seeds fall and noticed later on that a plant grew and thought, well, if I do that, will I get the same result? And they do it. And then think, well, it worked the first time. I'm going to try it again and see if it happens again. Boom, you have the scientific method in its early stages. And because of that, we ended up with agriculture. Somebody figured out you put a worm on a hook, or you weave together vines and you can catch things in the water and all of this. Why hasn't the same come about with food preservation, as well as food gathering and harvesting and cultivating and all of that? Maybe somebody thought sour milk tasted good, or they didn't want to waste it because food was hard to come by. Or they thought, there was early form of a cabbage sitting there that kind of fermented a bit, and somebody thought that was cool. I used to have a dog that would go out and eat rotten corn out of the cornfield, and she'd come back plastered out of her tune. Name was Brandy, by the way. So if a dog learns to like that, then why didn't we go and take it, say, hey, I felt really, really good, so I'm going to try to reproduce this. All these things, this tasted interesting, I'm going to try to make this. And they observe how it happened in the first place, and they go, okay, I'm going to try to do this the way I saw nature do it. That's probably how all of this began. Our ancients were not stupid people. Just because the science advancement wasn't there does not mean they were stupid. You think about early Rome before the Catholic Church took over and suppressed a whole shitload of knowledge. They have found bronze dental tools that are the same as what we use now. And they have found these after the dental tools we developed and used now had already been in use. So it's not like we copied them. They developed independently, and unfortunately had to because of suppression by the Catholic Church. The steam engine was invented by a man named Heron in Egypt. It was dismissed by the pharaoh, but there was a steam engine. We're very capable. If a raven is capable, why do we dismiss what our ancestors were capable of? That's not respecting of our species. That's not respecting of our history. That's not respecting of our ancestors. And especially for pagans, where we talk about how we honor our ancestors, we need to keep in our heads that honoring them also means acknowledging that they were not stupid. And they were very worthy of respect for the technology of their day and the technologies that they created of their day, even from shaping a piece of flint and making a tool out of it to use to clean a hide. That's technology. Think about that. And again, I'm sorry for the bad lighting and the poor camera work, but my car's warm now, so I'm going to head out. I can't see my breath anymore. Anyway, blessed be everybody. Have a great day. Oh, and Happy New Year's.